Ready, set. Why not go? Go live. Well, it's Monday and it seems like my dog's going to bark. Wow. Okay. It's just one of those things, I guess, that happens. Uh, yeah. All right. Let's see. Remove that right now. Okay. We'll get going here in a minute. It's good to see you, DVB. Good to see you as always. This your nighttime. Yes. 1998, Arby's introduced its curly fries. Do you like Arby's curly fries? If I do, I like it with their cheddar sauce, their cheddar cheese. The Arby revolution takes a new twist. 1988, been there since 1988. I kind of prefer their. Thank you, Topher, for sharing that out on Twitter or liking that. I don't know. You liked it. Okay, you like this already. So I appreciate that, Topher. Um, Topher needs to promote more, as he says. I prefer Arby's little potato cakes. I guess they're kind of triangular and they're all diced up potato. Uh, Both are good, and I keep forgetting Russ Heath. Russ Heath had a birthday. Of course, he's been passed away. The way I learned about Russ Heath was through collecting. Um, I'm sure I had not taken note of him, but once I got into buying pieces from the Adler collection, it gave me an appreciation for Russ Heath because he did a lot of stuff in the '70s, especially for DC Comics, their covers and things. But yes, a happy heavenly birthday to Eisner Hall of Famer, Inkpot and Inkwell Award winner, Golden Age Marvel Boy. He worked on the Haunted Tank, the Sea Devils. That's early on in his career, back in the early '60s. Co-creator of Star Spangled War Stories. Wow. Our Army at War and GI Combat artist, and you know, distinguished Russ Heath. Um, just had to get that out because Russ Heath's birthday was on the 29th, I believe, September 29th. So I've been meaning to say that for a while, but just hadn't got it out there, folks. Here's a picture of Russ before his passing, of course. Uh, Pictures of after his passing are very hard to come by indeed, as you might well imagine, near impossible to get. So here's one pre to death. The wonderful Russ Heath, wonderful artist. He could draw children very well, for sure. Not everyone can draw children. Not that easy, for sure. Just up from a nap, so a good sleep. So I thought, might as well stream, uh, add a little bit of content, right, to the channel. We just surpassed, 1,000 videos of content. I wasn't even sure. I tried to find the numbering on debut. I believe this is episode 3, but I may have already done an episode 3. I'll check into it more deeply. I know one of them was struck down, maybe debut 2, episode 2. So and it's been a while since I've done one. So because I've been doing it on the show, uh, and trying to get a handle on it, and all messed up with it. All right, so let me Thank you for I have a nerdy mind for putting that out there about Russ Heath. Appreciate that. It's always cool to know whose birthday is when. Madeline Kahn on the 29th, and she was born in 1942. Uh, I remember her from What's Up Doc. She wore a bad wig in that, or they did her hair very poorly in that. There is a shot of her uh, from What's Up Doc, which was a Barbara Streisand. This is not it. I will show it here in a minute. She looks quite lovely there. She was in Blazing Saddles as well. Uh, but and that's not too bad right there with her hair. That's probably early 70s. From the film quality, it looks like the 60s. But regardless, what movie that's from, here she is in What's Up Doc. That's but she was playing fiance that was ultra obnoxious, and I don't know what to say. It was a great movie though. What's Up Doc's a good movie. I like it, with Ryan O'Neal and Barbara Streisand. If you haven't seen it and you want a good laugh, now it might appear dated. I don't know. It's, by today's standards, I think it's a good romp. I watched it several months ago again, and uh, was quite pleased with it. It holds up good. It's got good memories for me, though. Um, Good memories indeed. All right, let me find some content here, huh? Sounds good, man. Never watched What's Up Doc? Yeah, yeah. It's a good comedy. I think it's a good comedy. Uh, holds up holds up pretty well. Uh, it's wacky. I mean, especially when they're romping through San Francisco downhill trying to get away. It's just it's like a mad, 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 mad world. If you have not seen that, you need to see that. That's an even earlier movie with a lot of older established actors in it and some then comedians, all comedians. And you had like Jimmy Durante. He's only in there at the beginning. Rat Race. If you've seen Rat Race is a remake basically of It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World. Uh, Born Today in 1890 was Groucho Marx, another great comedian. Sadly, he was not in It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World. I don't think. Now, the Three Stooges made a quick appearance. I don't think Groucho Marx did. Uh, I guess it was possible he was still alive. Uh, but born in 1890, he was 5 years older than Adolf Hitler. Just saying. No, no, I'll take that back. He was 5 years younger than Adolf Hitler. I think Adolf Hitler was 1885, actually, his birth. Sounds like a cool flick. Oh yeah, I've seen Rat Race. Had no idea that was a remake. I know it's kind of a loose remake. I prefer It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. Um, that was one of the movies that used to come on TV once a year, kind of like Wizard of Oz, that they would play it once a year. It was always a fun romp. Um, Always a fun romp with Mad, 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 Mad World. Uh, and look for those little cameos in there. You being younger, you might not know it's the Three Stooges. They appear in the movie as three uh, 3 firefighters. Basically, the premise of the story, and I forget what the premise of Rat Race was, but the premise of the story was this thief that stole some money, did his time in prison or something like that. I don't know. He hid some money years ago between two trees underneath a big W. And that's what it turns out to be. I probably shouldn't say that, but by the time they find it, you'll know exactly where it is because they keep passing it. They don't see it, you know. It's hidden in a park somewhere. They have to get it across country to find it. Jimmy Durante, who was the old thief, he ran off the road and was dying. In his dying breath, he tells all the onlookers that stop, uh, you know, where it is and whatever, and you can have the money if you find it. And uh, the police officer that gets on their trail is, I always forget his name. Um, uh, Spencer Tracy. Spencer Tracy. White-headed as I am. Died in the late 60s, unfortunately, right after he did Look Who's Coming to Dinner with Sidney Poitier. And I'm trying to think who else. I always forget her name too. She did that John Wayne movie with oh well. You know, if you've seen the movie, Look Who's Coming to Dinner. It's a classic. I have a copy of it. I watched it not too long ago. Uh, about anti-racism. Let's see. I covered some of this today. I'm just trying to catch up here. Trying to find where I left off. Uh, been trying to catch up on some of these things for a little while. Some things you can't show because of copyright or, you know, you get struck or whatever, but some of it you can. All right, where are we at here? Trying to get there. Oh, you remember the Evel Knievel stunt cycle? Some of us had that as a kid. I did not. I got to play with somebody that had the Evel Knievel stunt cycle. I did get to play with one once. You always got all kinds of good info, Rex. Well, thank you. Well, I got to go, Rex. Catch you next time, man. We'll see you, DVB. Wow, Colin, packing it in early. Okay. Oh, here we go. October 1st, 1982, Sony introduced the world's first commercial compact disc player. How about that? Bam. There's an ad for it and then a picture of it. And people, I guarantee you, were going, "What is this? What?" I think I'll stick with my VHS player. Now we all have one. Sony, the one and only, it says. Think about that. 1982 compact disc player. It really did take a while for compact disc to take off. It did take a while. In Jimmy Carter filed a report about with both the International UFO Bureau and National Investigations Committee on Aerial Phenomenon, stating that he sighted an unidentified flying object in October 1969. I believe when he took office, he said that he would declassify all the UFO papers, and alas, we're still waiting on that. I think it's a no starter. I think they get in there and say, there's no such thing, or yes, they're here. And they've been eating your brain for, well, decades in your sleep. I don't know. It's one or the other. They're either here or they're not. And does it matter? It might. I don't know. Did you know when you put ink on the back of a leaf and put it into water, that it will just leave a trail? And because the surface tension of the ink is not as heavy as the water. So check out what happens when you put a drop of ink on a leaf and put it in the water. I'll do the sound effects. That's pretty wild, huh? It's pretty wild, huh? It will propel the leaf forward and leave a trail behind it. Did you know that? Try that with your grandchild or your child one of these times, or just for yourself. It is October, and I will have to stop try and catch Graham Nolan's monster streams earlier. Hey, Black Hat, here's some great covers for you from famous monsters, picturing some greats of the field for sure. No aliens because there are no planets. Stars, planets are the eyes of the watchers. Aliens are demons. That's pretty much what I think, Black Hat. But you start talking demonology and you lose people, you know? I kind of figure you can share the gospel without. Although on the internet there's a there's a lot weirder things. Um, than that are shared. Okay, let me. Uh, you know, thing like this. Key it up here. Without the music, this is part of an exhibition conceived as an accumulation of surprising anti-gravity devices. This one simulates the lunar gravity. They could have used that in the filming, huh? Let it come up. Whoop, didn't want to come up. There we go. So check this out. Today you could just edit out the device. Of course, he's kind of, look at that. Hey, at least he turned around. Now he's scrambling. Oh, it's running through StreamYard, but it's stalled out on my other device. So I don't know on Twitter. So looks like fun. Might try that sometime. Maybe not. No need. Uh, politics said, politics. Groucho Marx said politics is the art of looking for trouble, finding it everywhere, diagnosing it incorrectly, and applying the wrong remedies. How right he was. Happy belated birthday to Groucho Marx, born in 1890 yesterday. 1985, Rock Hudson died at 59. That's way too young. Of course, in many different movies, I could name some of them, but yeah. Have you ever seen Sam Elliott's audition in 1987 for James Bond and The Living Daylights. He was trying out for the part. Have you ever seen that? Here's a short clip, 17 seconds worth of it, where of course the bad politics management is intentional. I would agree with you, Black Hat. We agree more than we disagree, for sure, except on the meat thing. And you're probably right on that.
So you're Tatiana Romanova.
My friends call me Tanya.
My friends call me Bond. James Bond.
He had that suave factor. I think he could have done James Bond. You know, and he wasn't that bad a looking guy with his hair like that and whatnot. I think he had the accent, and that's what you need. That and the car, right? I think he could have done it. I would have liked to have seen it. All right, this was kind of talked over. Here's one of my favorite comic book characters. I mean, cartoon characters. Of course, it's Captain Caveman. Did you ever watch Captain Caveman? Did there for a little while. I think he could make a comeback. Actually, one of my sweet little vinyls back here is a Captain Caveman. I believe I also have a Grape Ape. I'm not sure what. Yeah, I've got my Captain Caveman right back here. I'm not sure where the other vinyl is. Actually, found that at Big Lots. All right. All right, here we go. You're not gonna know this guy. We're not gonna know that guy. But he invented several things that I'm sure something good. Tim Tams are good. What are Tim Tams? He's from Looney Tunes? No, he's Hanna-Barbera. Captain Caveman is from Hanna-Barbera. This guy here at age 18. I haven't read the whole thing on him, but he is he invented Monopoly, Clue, and Risk. Some of the games we play. If you look at the current editions of D&D, which are reverse engineer copies of the original, you don't see Dave's name on the cover. You won't see Gary Galax's name there either. Millions of RPG gamers have no clue who he is. Big corporations remove creator names from their inventions once they become a commodity. So, happy belated birthday to the gentleman that created great board games like Monopoly and Risk. All right, where are we at? I'm on lizard for a day. I don't need a lizard. I guess I do need a lizard for lizard representation for Lorenzo in case he shows up. Here's a rad lizard. Sure. There we go. He's got attitude. I like him. I think he's trying a Jedi mind trick, though. You will, I would say, eat Tim Tams, but Tim Tams? What's a Tim Tam, Hockey? Just wondering what a Tim Tam is. All right, I totally screwed this up. Let's see. Thank you, Twitter. All right, I'm back to where I was now, which was lost and confused. So is that a good place to be? I ask you. Okay, we're up to snuff here now. We're making headway here now. Yeah, Captain Caveman was not Warner Brothers. It was definitely, he was participated in Laugh Olympics. He came out in the mid 70s. Had his own show, I believe. This here says, since we have Black Hat on here, did you know that pineapple juice is 500% more effective than helping you stop coughing than cough syrup is? Well, it's true, and it's all on account of the fact that fresh pineapples contain a substance known as bromelain. I hope I said that right. A specific type of enzyme that has anti-inflammatory characteristics, which can combat infections and eradicate bacteria. How about that? Am I right about pineapple? And if you just get the pure, unadulterated pineapple juice, of course, without all the sugar that's added. Pineapple has a lot of sugar in it, I believe. And onions, as I was saying, onions are good for you. They have a lot of antioxidant properties in onions. Onions are good for you. And you can take an onion and you can put it in the oven with a little bit of butter, a little bit of salt. Cook it right in the shuck and then shuck it. Or however you want to do it. You can shuck it and then, but it won't get heated up on the skin surface as much if you just leave it in the shuck. Maybe cut the ends off of it. Cartoon Network launched in 1992, which is pretty cool. Always liked some Cartoon Network. I would say it was a little bit later, maybe about in their third year, maybe about 1994 or 5 when I first encountered Cartoon Network. It might have been earlier than that. It's after I moved out of town into another town. And started watching it there. All right. Getting caught up. Some of this I showed on today's 4 o'clock shadow. Going to try and get Xevious on for tomorrow. We shall see. I don't think he's gotten back. Excuse me. Hadn't gotten back with me yet. It's been about a year, I don't know, since I've had him on. And it was early morning. I did mention that the October 1st was Michael Golden's birthday. The great artist Michael Golden. So happy belated birthday to him. I think I did mention it on his birthday or somewhere about around, we hope. All right. Yeah, in the original The Batman, I actually watched this episode not too long ago, actually. But yeah, I would say Alfred in the 1966 had game. Sure. Yeah, he had the girls around him. For me to know and enjoy the best thing ever. Okay, all right. It'll be difficult. Oktoberfest soon. Cool. That sounds cool. I'm intrigued. That way I can come over to one of your shows and give you a hard time. How about that? What goes around comes around. I'll tell you why. No, I want to keep it a secret. Wolfsbane's comics, knocking it out of the park with the artwork. Check this out. Nice werewolf. Just in case Shadowhawk watches this on replay. He likes a good werewolf piece every now and then. There you go. Like I ever stream. Well, you're going to have to change that, Hockey. And we're going to have to set up an episode where you come on. You know, look, I'm flexible now. I can do it earlier. It doesn't necessarily have to be on the 4 o'clock shadow. I like to feature people on the 4 o'clock shadow simply because, you know, that's my daily show. And I think it probably gets the most views, but not always. Here's another Ethan Van Sciver Salamandroid for Shadowhawk if he watches that on replay. Black Hat said, I couldn't answer you because I was breaking up dog fights. Oh, wow. Fighting, growling, and yapping dogs are one of the reasons I can't live stream. Yeah, I understand. I mean, sometimes I can't shut Abby up. Gable Penny Shot, hell, where did you get all this time, Rex? Well, you know, sometimes you have to make time. Daylight savings has started, so I think your show is later now. Well, I mean, that's fine. I can do early now that I'm not working as much. In fact, here in a few days, I won't be working at all. Who knows? I may have worked my last. I went out Thursday, was off Friday night. We don't work the weekends. So Thursday was my last day to work. And I didn't go to my regular city that I go to. I went to, here's Edwin's character, Bloodbone, if you hadn't seen him from Fun My Comic. I said I was going to work on mine. I may work on mine tonight a little bit. This was the, you know, something that probably won't be used, but something like that. I have to create something, you know, for Fun My Comic. Of course, I could put this up in a pinch, you know, do a little work on it, and you know, get something up there because I am getting ready to launch. May take me a day or so. There, nobody wants to see my face. But way to go, Edwin, getting yours done. I want to do something different. I guess this is Odin, you know, kill them dead. It has launched. Check that out. Yeah, that's wild. Kill them dead comes with the hard rocking soundtrack. It's different. It's good that people are trying things differently. Flintstones debuted. Flintstones, this half-hour weekly series, is something new in situation comedy shows, an animated cartoon, and it was in prime time, folks, on Friday night. It debuted September 30th. It's all about the rich suburban living shared by Fred and Wilma Flintstone and their neighbors Barney and Betty Rubble. The characters' voices: Fred Flintstone, Alan Reed, and then it gives all the names. It's got the first episode, I think, was called The Flintstone Flyer. 63 years ago, 1960, on ABC, The Flintstones. I won't play the opener because I think with maybe Hanna-Barbera, it might get it struck down. I don't know, but The Flintstones, I can definitely show you Fred Flintstone. He's clocking out of work here. Everybody knows the Flintstones, don't they? But it has been 63 years ago that Fred Flintstones, and then the Jetsons were prime time. The first 2 seasons of the Flintstones were co-sponsored by, well, I will show this because I think it's interesting. It's interesting that it's in black and white, not color like the cartoon. Which, if you didn't have a color TV set at the time, it really didn't matter.
The Flintstones has been brought to you by Winston.
Winston?
America's best-selling, best-tasting filter cigarette. Winston tastes good like a cigarette should.
Uh-huh. You'll never see that again on TV. Cartoon characters smoking cigarettes. Wow. Yeah, back in the day, we had it all. September 30th, 1993, Smashing Pumpkins released their song Today 30 years ago. Debuting in 1985 was 38 years ago was this cartoon right here. Yeah, I was a little bit beyond catching everything that came out. All right, here it is. Bring it up. There we go. Can you tell by this graphic what it is? Mask.
Masked crusaders working overtime, fighting crime, secret raiders who will neutralize soon as they arrive. The Cytrain's gonna leave a mission, and Spectrum's got such supervision. Mask is the mighty power that can save the day. No one knows what lies behind the man's charades. Always riding on Venom's trail. Come see the laser rays. Fire away.
Of course, I think Mask had some toy line, right? Hey, Shadowhawk, getting ready for bed. I'll be listening. Okay. Yeah, I never got into Mask, but 1985, 38, I'm not even sure. Here was your lineup. I know it's probably going to be Swan here, but in 1985, Swanson frozen dinners. You ever had a Swanson frozen dinner? Say that 10 times real quick. I dare you. Hungry Man, of course. I've got some Hungry Man products in there. You got turkey, you got fried chicken, you got sliced beef. Not to trigger you, Black Hat. You got boneless chicken, Western style something. Chopped beef steak. Looks like chicken Parmesan, turkey. I thought we already had turkey, maybe turkey and gravy, turkey and something else. I don't know. Mexican style. You got fried chicken. You got Salisbury steak and veal Parmesan. There you go. There's your Swanson dinners. Been around for a very long time. I always, when thinking of frozen dinners, I think of Bullet. You know, he goes into a convenience store and he doesn't even really look up. He's just like, it's just, he's not into eating. He just nonchalantly stacks up a bunch of them, checks out, and goes home, takes them home to eat. You know, he's eating on the fly. He's a police officer. Doesn't give a lot of credence to sitting down and having a good meal. If it happens, it happens. You do get to see him have a good meal and have some drinks with friends and having fun. On September 30th, 1927, Babe Ruth hit his 60th home run of the 1927 season, setting a record that would stand for 34 years. Till Roger Maris, I guess, broke it. Motley Crue released Home Sweet Home 38 years ago. Aliens, starring Jennifer Garner, premiered 22 years ago in 2001. I remember watching some Alias. It came out right after 9/11, which it came out on September 30th, 2001. 9/11 will always be you know, 2001 will always be the 9/11 year to me. Manimal debuted September 30th, 1983. Anybody remember Manimal? Jonathan Chase was the Professor Jonathan Chase was the character, an animal behaviorist who fights crime through his ability to transform himself into various animals. Chase's not so welcome crime fighting partner is Detective Brooke McKenzie, played by Melanie Anderson. In the opener, the duo is the duo is after thieves planning to hijack a military shipment of nerve gas. It was 90 minutes long. Wow. So they got an hour and a half adventure of Manimal. It didn't last very long. It was an interesting concept, but it didn't last very long. But that debuted September 30th, 1983 on NBC. And here was 40 years ago. Here was the trailer for it, for Manimal. Manimal. I'm saying Manimal. Anyway, interesting show that I never really got into or watched. And apparently a lot of other people didn't either. Oh yeah, shit. Now this chick here now, Melanie Anderson. Hell yeah, she was a very poor Dale Arden, I thought. But Dale Arden nonetheless on the Flash Gordon movie in 1980. Go Flash, go. Only on Choppy Ass Theater.
Manimal. Dr. Jonathan Chase. Wealthy, young, handsome. A man with the brightest of futures. A man with the darkest of pasts. From Africa's deepest recesses to the rarefied peaks of Tibet. Heir to his father's legacy and the world's darkest mysteries.
My son, you must have faith and learn. This is not the end. This is the beginning.
Jonathan Chase, master of the secrets that divide man from animal. Animal from man. Partnered with a young police detective and a former army corporal from the fields of Vietnam. A trio that stands against the crime that breeds in the concrete jungles and stretches its deadly tentacles to the fascinating but dangerous world beyond. The world of Manimal.
Yeah, I don't know. Would you watch that? I would if it had good transformation scenes. I think other people might have been more intrigued. Fox Primetime, September 30th, 1993. The Simpsons guest starred George Harrison on the show in 1993. That must have been a trip. Here's a picture of how they depicted George Harrison down in the corner and Abbey Road on The Simpsons. Simpsons still running after 30-something seasons. It's amazing. I really haven't watched that many episodes of The Simpsons. I could, eventually they'll put out a mega box set and maybe I will buy it. 32 years ago, 1991. Has it been that long? there was a show called Jerry Springer on NBC. Jerry Springer. I've watched a few Jerry Springers and their rants and throwing of chairs and that. And one of my all-time favorites growing up, very young, sad when it went off TV because they didn't rerun a lot of things on TV. The Rifleman, starring Chuck Connors and Johnny Crawford, premiered 65 years ago, September 30th, 1958. 58, folks. I wasn't even born for several more years. 58 on ABC. I mean, I forget how many times he shoots this rifle. They've actually counted.
The Rifleman.
Yeah, if that didn't get your attention when you turned the TV on, I don't know what would.
Starring Chuck Connors.
Chuck Connors. Now, Chuck Connors used to be a major league ball player. Played with DiMaggio. There was sadly no baseball card made of him. Sadly, if it was, I'm sure it'd be worth some money. He was a pitcher. He was a tall guy, about 6'5", I believe. The blueprint for most YouTube shows now. Would that be this show? I don't know. What's the blueprint? Oh, for Jerry Springer? You're talking about Jerry Springer? Maybe. September 30th, 1972, the Scooby-Doo gang meets Jonathan Winters. A great comedian in his own right, but yeah, there were several guest stars when Scooby-Doo started out. The new Scooby-Doo movies, guest starring Jonathan Winters. Must have been kind of fulfilling to have yourself animated, by Hanna-Barbera. Don't know if it looks a lot like Jonathan Winters. Looks like they might have to make some more room for him in that van. Looks a little small. Jonathan Winters was a little portly. The Mad Magazine cover for September 1978, Saturday Night Fever. Not live. There we go. Miss Mad Magazine, but some publications just have their time. Tales from the Dark Side premiered as a regular weekly series 39 years ago in 1984. Did you watch Tales from the Dark Side? Hey, Dillard. Hello, he says. Don't like the music already. Just saying.
Man lives in the sunlit world of what he believes to be reality. But there is, unseen by most, an underworld, a place that is just as real, but not as brightly lit. A dark side.
Uh-oh. I think we got that from Star Wars. Did you watch Tales of the Dark Side? I really didn't. Maybe an episode or two, but yeah. I was pretty discerning about the shite that I watched or didn't watch. Capone. I don't think I've ever seen that. Philip Seymour Hoffman, who died of heroin overdose. Everybody enabled him and knew he was a bad heroin addict, did not call him out on it, and eventually took his life. But his movie Capote. Now I can't even speak. Anyway, bam, there we go. There's a picture of it when he was a little bit younger. Truman Capote, when he played Truman Capote. That would be interesting. You know, the writer Truman Capote was flaming gay, so probably an early movie about a gay man. It just didn't appeal to me. But anyway, 18 years ago, 2005. Law and Order Criminal Intent premiered 22 years ago, September 30th, 2001 on NBC. So, you know, if you have a big hit like Law and Order, you do spinoffs, right? I guess so. I do like the actor that played in this. Although I never watched it. He's a good actor, though. I like his stuff. He goes way back. I think the first movie I ever saw him in was a Christian movie about the end times when nobody knew his name. Criminal Intent. Created by Dick Wolf. Well, Richard Wolf. How about that? Heroin is the drug of choice of most geniuses. Okay. I'm glad that you don't take heroin, Dillard. Just saying that you're a good Christian family man. Baywatch Nights. I guess that was the spinoff, right? Baywatch, I guess. I don't know. I've missed a lot of TV. I've watched a lot of TV. I've missed a lot of TV. Premiered 28 years ago in 1995. Did you watch Baywatch Nights? I didn't. I didn't even watch Baywatch with Pamela Sue Anderson. Or am I getting something confused? Was this Baywatch or was this a spinoff? I don't know. Got David Hasselhoff, who was in Baywatch.
In the city of angels, under cover of night, people are drowning in a sea of light.
Bad logos, bad music.
Devil's holding your life on the line.
Not really A-list
Angels are calling, praying for
actors
time.
or actresses that I can see.
Something's gotta give, something's got to break before it's too late. Before it's too late, after the sun goes down.
I mean, let's face it, David Hasselhoff did Knight Rider, okay, which was all right for its time, I guess. You know, really the car was more intriguing than the lead actor. He did play Nick Fury in a bombed out Dead Genius, Baywatch Nights. Drugs are bad. Yeah. Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers opened up in theaters 28 years ago in September 1995. Did you go watch that? I didn't. But, you know, Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, 28 years ago. On September 30th, 1988, after throwing the ceremonial first pitch, President Ronald Reagan called play-by-play for an inning and a half with Harry Carey at Wrigley Field. I think I remember watching that. During the 1930s, Reagan did play-by-play for the Cubs while reading teletype at an Iowa radio station. He was known as the Great Communicator. Yeah, this might get me struck, but I don't know. Who cares?
Taking over the role of a play-by-play announcer, Ronald Reagan at the mic.
Well, Harry, thank you very much. You know, in a few months, I'm going to be out for work, and I thought I might as well audition.
Well, I'm afraid that you got this job anytime you want it, Mr. President.
All right, here comes the pitch, and there goes a hard-hit ball out into right field and taken right off the grass for an...
He had a good announcing voice. You're playing right into their hands. Yeah. That's what you want to think. Yeah. Yeah, Reagan had a good announcing voice. He really was the great communicator. Murder, She Wrote, starring Angela Lansbury, premiered 39 years ago in 1984 on CBS. I think my mother liked to watch that a little bit. It was quite popular, ran for several seasons. I'm not sure how many seasons, but interesting. And she was from old Hollywood. You know, she was an old Hollywood starlet. 1982, 41 years ago, Marvin Gaye. I remember when I first heard this on the radio. Released Sexual Healing. Dillard, if you haven't heard that, maybe you need to listen to it. Sexual Healing. I still hear that on the Odie station from time to time. Listen to it. That, in my mind, that was one of his last big hits, I think. Even though Dan's going through, he posted this on the 30th. Tried drawing last night. Well, I was up not feeling the best after his chemo treatments. Only the thing that came out remotely okay was the Goblin Girl sketch. Not the best, but passable. There we go. So if you didn't see that, it's not too bad, actually. Dan Pleagle. Goblin Girl is still up for a little bit longer. There's going to be some campaigns coming down and making room for some new stuff to go up for sure here pretty soon. Last night, Allie, as I said earlier, she was closing out her book, Egg Beaters, and Dillard was over there. I noticed he popped in before I popped out of the chat. Didn't have a lot of time to say hi, but I did. Wanted to support Allie. Said hi to Allie. Allie didn't say hi back, but then she never will and never did. But you know, I'm not hurt much. I'll get over it. Barry Williams, the oldest in the Brady Bunch, known as Greg Brady. It was his birthday the other day on the 30th. He's 69 years young. Grew up watching Brady Bunch for sure. And speaking of Dan, of course, I showed this the other day. Didn't mention it, but he sent a picture out of him giving thumbs up. And number 6 for his 6th chemo treatment. Our prayers are always with you, Dan. Send me that sketch. I'll ink it. Yeah, well, you'll have to talk to the boob man himself over that, Dillard. I don't have the sketch. I do have 2 sketches that he's done on the back of that was a cool thing that they did. Jason Bascom had given out I guess the issues of the ash can for him to do something on the back. And what he did was kind of rule off and then put a figure on each. I've got a couple lady figures that he says, oh, you got a couple of good ones, because I showed them to him at one time. Did you know that Peregrine Falcon has a stunning attack? He strikes his prey with a clenched foot, stunning or killing it with the impact, then turns to catch it in midair. If the prey is too heavy to carry, a peregrine will drop it to the ground and eat it there. That's pretty wild. So let's look at a peregrine falcon attack. Don't know what type of bird that it's attacking, but well, yes, I do. It's classified as dead meat. Goes into a power dive, clenched foot, comes birds to boom. Not too far from the ground on that attack. Look at this. Wow. Turns around before it hits the ground and catches it. Look at that power dive, though. Bam. Not too far from the ground. Interesting. Don't be hit by a peregrine falcon. It probably hurt, especially at high speed. She was busy trying her shoes and little Nazis. Yeah. Yeah. Surfer Sebastian Stratner, I guess that's his last name, rode a 115-foot wave in Portugal in 2018. Yeah, some people are just nuts. Can you imagine that? 115-foot wave. That's like you're just falling. But check this out. Just a wall of water. It's amazing. I mean, you could get sucked under in a wave that big and drown very easily. Gutsy guy. Wow. And then the crash come down and you gotta time that right. I don't know what you're doing. That's pretty wild. To dream the impossible dream. Well, I see that we're past the hour mark, and yeah, maybe I'll find some more material and share it tomorrow. But I think that's good for tonight. Thanks everybody for watching, dropping by, leaving a like. Thank you, Topher, especially. Appreciate it. You guys have fun and keep collecting, keep watching the stars, and have a good